Rebate, some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
As the world gets back on track, now's the time to look forward and make bold, life-changing decisions. If you're ready to complete your college degree or pursue your master's like an MBA, Ohio Dominican University offers a range of innovative programs that match your goals. And with both fully online and on-campus evening formats available, pursuing your degree at ODU also fits your life. Classes are forming now. Get started at ohiodominican.edu. That's ohiodominican.edu.
Each year, Ohioans are injured and killed in train car accidents that could have been avoided with properly functioning gates and flashing lights. Facts show that gates and lights together prevent more train car accidents than stop signs or crosswalks alone. How can you help? Approach all crossings with caution and report bad railroad crossings at angelsontrack.org. That's angelsontrack.org. Because bad crossings kill good drivers. Sponsored by Angels on Track, aired by OAB and this station.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up? We'll help you find everything you need to do the job right. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $28.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
Benito's line cook just threw in his kitchen towel.
This order needs to go out right now.
He needs to find help before his customers are left waiting.
I'm so sorry. We'll be right with you. Hey, who's got table 6?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Want free Reds tickets? How about a free MLB Network Reds bag? Maybe a Reds bobblehead? Here's an idea. How about we combine them all together and give you a chance to win a free WING Reds prize pack presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Register daily at wingam.com. We're live. We're local.
What are you gonna miss? He's struck him out.
We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
All right, everybody, welcome in. It is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, minus Kev Nash for the rest of the week right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. The Justin Kinner Show brought to you by Orion Sports Medicine. We welcome you in. I hope everyone's had a great day. We are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show. You can also find us on YouTube. Search ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. Like and subscribe and be a part of the show weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. The Reds have a wonky start time today, a 5:10 first pitch as they wrap up their series with the Braves. So that's going to be coming up here in just a little bit. And so our show will be cut in half. So lucky for you guys, you only have to deal with me for about an hour and a half. So let's get to it, shall we? I want to open up with Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer already causing a little chaos in Jacksonville, and he hasn't even coached his first preseason game yet. It all started back, of course, whenever he hired that strength and conditioning coach from Iowa, and then had the nerve to come out and say that he fully vetted the individual that we're talking about, of course. And then what I found really most interesting about all of that was we're learning about Urban as this goes. The difference between coaching in the NFL and coaching in college is that in the NFL, although you are part of a team, I think the one thing you're going to find out is that the team is not as close as what the teams are in college. In college, it's built on a foundation. In college, it's built on principle. In college, it's built on the coach's vision. And it's kind of hard to do that in the NFL when you are just one little tiny piece of the big puzzle. In college, Ohio State football was Urban Meyer. Ohio State football was Jim Tressel. Ohio State football was Woody Hayes. Ohio State football right now is Ryan Day. Jacksonville Jaguars football is not Urban Meyer. And I think that's why when it comes down to his decision-making, there are some things that he does that generates a response and a reaction that I don't think he expects sometimes. I know that really the only resistance that Urban Meyer ever faced in Columbus was really that Zach Smith situation. That was the first time that I think he had experienced any kind of resistance or push, when it came to Ohio State football. And the thing I find most fascinating about all of that is that whenever you look at it at the end of the day, it's a situation where, one moment, there we go. No, it's a situation where when you look at it big picture, Urban Meyer is not used to having to answer to people. Not that he never respected or answered to Gene Smith, but Urban Meyer, it was kind of one of those things at Ohio State where we don't care how you do it. We don't care what you do. Just get the job done. And he did. Recruiting went up a notch. Quite a few notches. He didn't just elevate the status of the program. He elevated the status of the Big Ten and the way that people view it. But there was no pushback. There was no resistance at Ohio State up until that Zach Smith situation. But in the NFL, it's a little bit different. There are always naysayers. Your fans are sometimes your biggest critics. There are fans who believe that so-and-so should be playing over so-and-so. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen in college. There are probably people who are fans of Jack Miller over C.J. Stroud or Kyle McCord over the other two, and that's going to be a given. But you rarely will a coach ever get any pushback from their own fan base as long as they win and win and win. That's not the case in the NFL. Urban Meyer has yet to even coach a preseason game. Urban Meyer has yet to actually step foot out on the field on game day, which will, of course, change a little bit this weekend as preseason's coming up as they welcome in the Cleveland Browns. But the thing I find most interesting about this is today, Urban Meyer came out and basically said, yeah, Trevor Lawrence, he's not, we're not naming him the starter. That it's an open quarterback battle in Jacksonville. And I don't have a problem with what Urban Meyer is doing. However, I can at least see where the resistance is now coming from, where people are like, wait a minute, like Urban is so used to no matter what I say, no matter what I do, I'm going to get a rah response. He's not getting that in Jacksonville. He makes a gamble with the hiring, of course, of his strength and conditioning coach that is no longer with the team, and he had to make scrambled eggs out of all the egg on his face for that one. He's already been slapped on the hand once. He makes a comment today about how it's still an open quarterback battle between Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 overall pick, and Gardner Minshew. Now, let's be clear on a couple things here. For one, Urban Meyer did not come out of retirement to take a job in the NFL to coach Gardner Minshew. Like, let's just be real. I don't even think Urban Meyer believes that this is not a quarterback competition. Now, we heard a lot of these types of comments from Urban Meyer during his time at Ohio State, especially think back to the Joe Burrow and Dwayne Haskins quarterback class when I had multiple people tell me throughout that stretch, people that are close with Urban that have said, I went golfing with Urban, actually, and Urban told me over the weekend that it's Dwayne Haskins' job, but they have to continue to push that it's Dwayne Haskins against Joe Burrow because you have to continue to give the impression to recruits that everything is up for a battle, everything that you're fighting for everything. Dwayne Haskins was the starter months and months and months before the actual spring game in which Urban tried to lay it out as, yeah, you guys are battling it out for the starting job. That wasn't going to happen. If you have to use a spring touch football game to win a position, you haven't done enough then. So fast forward to this situation. In college, fans wanted to hear, oh, man, a quarterback battle. That's awesome. We love quarterback battle. In the NFL, when you hear quarterback battle, you hear, oh, man, if you have two, we have none. In college, it's different. The Buckeyes have 4 legitimate quarterbacks. Any one of them can start. Kyle McCord, Jack Miller, C.J. Stroud, and yes, even Quinn Ewers. If any one of those guys were named the starter, we as fans would say, all right, I trust Ryan Day. I trust the coaching staff. They're all 4- and 5-star guys. What can go wrong? That mindset doesn't exist in the NFL. So Urban Meyer coming out and doing this whole song and dance of, oh, well, it's an ongoing quarterback competition, that Trevor Lawrence is not our starter yet. We have yet to determine that. It's going to be an ongoing quarterback battle. Fans of Jacksonville are getting uneasy. They're getting irritated. They're coming at Urban Meyer. And that's the one thing that we're starting to notice is that Urban Meyer keeps bringing this college approach to the NFL, and that can be the downfall of Urban Meyer in the NFL. Stop with the same old song and dance. Stop with the one thing about give the Cincinnati Bengals, they came out, they drafted Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is the face of our organization. We are building around Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow. The Bengals, I will give them that. They knew that it was a new day with Joe Burrow. So for Urban Meyer here, and again, right now it's all about selling hope to a fan base. This isn't the shoe where you could just bring in any old opponent and sell it out. This is Jacksonville. This is the Jaguars. This is one of the biggest jokes in the NFL that they are trying to change the perception of. So by doing this whole, well, we don't even know who our starter is going to be, that's not a good message to send to fans. The message in the NFL is different. Optimism's always there. Buckeye fans, I mean, even like we lose Justin Fields and you guys are still adamant that they're winning a national championship. Urban Meyer didn't have to sell as much at Ohio State. You have to sell here. And every decision you make goes towards season ticket holders. It goes towards whether or not people have interest in your franchise, whether investors have interest in your franchise. Ohio State investors, you don't have to do anything. They're there. Boosters are there. Endorsements coming in left and right for name, image, and likeness. They're there. You don't have to build anything in Columbus. You just have to keep the Titanic, the unsinkable ship, afloat. Right? Like in Jacksonville, that boat's sinking. You are just trying to get as much water off the boat and get as many people in lifeboats as possible before it goes under. So Urban Meyer has to stop with this whole college approach of, oh, I can hire whoever I want because I'm Urban Meyer and I don't ever have to face any resistance. And he's learned the hard way that that's not the case. You can't come out and do this whole quarterback battle thing. Maybe if you really didn't have quarterbacks, it's one thing, but you just drafted Trevor Lawrence #1 overall. You think the owner, who is the owner of the Jaguars, by the way? Is it Tony Khan, the AEW guy? One of the Khan brothers who owns the Jaguars. Do you really believe that they love hearing Urban Meyer say, well, we don't really know who our quarterback is. We don't really know. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence is our starter. They're like, okay, Urban, nice try, buddy. But Trevor Lawrence is our guy. You know, we didn't unload all the star Jalen Ramsey. We didn't unload all of those guys off of our roster so that we can get Trevor Lawrence so that you can come in here and continue playing Gardner Minshew. We could have hired a much cheaper coach, and we could have done this in a lot different ways than having you come in here and try to do this rah, everyone's going to fight for something type deal, which you could still do, but you don't have to do it at the mercy of messing with the head of Trevor Lawrence at this point. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show here on 1410 ESPN Radio, live on Facebook, live on Twitter. Nick on Facebook says Amir Khan is the owner. Nick, is that obviously the brother of Tony Khan, correct? I mean, the Khans have a lot of money internally with the family, so I'm assuming that that's all, and either way, bottom line is whoever the owner is, and now we know it's Amir ain't happy hearing Urban say, oh, yeah, we don't know who our quarterback is. You knew who your quarterback was the second that Jacksonville finished last regular season with the #1 overall pick. They knew it was Trevor Lawrence. So Urban Meyer has to stop. What else did Urban do? Urban Meyer also brought, so he used to do this thing at Ohio State called the winners and losers drill. And everything you did was a win or a loss. And just like game results matter, wins and losses matter. It was any drill that they did in practice, whoever won the drill got a tally in the win category, and whoever lost the drill got a tally in the loss category. And that's what they brought to Jacksonville, which I didn't have a problem with. But again, when people hear that you are taking college principles or college practices to the NFL, people roll their eyes a bit. I'm sure it worked. I'm sure it's bringing out the best in these guys, but let's be honest here. It's also a perception game. The NFL is a lot of perception. So is college. When you're building something in college, it is about changing the culture and changing those types of things. But when he was at Ohio State, it didn't matter what Urban did or did not do. People followed. I don't think it's going to be as easy in Jacksonville. I don't think people are going to line up and follow Urban anywhere he goes and do whatever he says. Urban's going to have to learn, and he's going to have to be open-minded. But I know what he was trying to do with this. I just think it came back and kind of slapped him in the face a bit. Then maybe they continue that little song and dance of, that Trevor Lawrence is not our starting quarterback. But Urban's going to have to learn fairly quickly that, yes, he's our quarterback. We're going to do what we can to work with him to make sure that he's in the best position possible to succeed. Because although Trevor Lawrence could be the best thing ever to happen to Urban Meyer taking over a franchise like this, it could also be the worst thing too. Because if Urban Meyer takes over the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, who is one of the hottest prospects to come into the league since Andrew Luck, we all know how good Andrew Luck was. Andrew Luck had to battle through a lot of adversity as well. He had to replace Peyton Manning. He had to go through all of that as well. And he succeeded somewhat from an individual aspect. The team couldn't succeed with him because they didn't, protect him enough, which is why I always preach that importance of don't let Joe Burrow become the next, Andrew Luck. But that's the thing. Trevor Lawrence has to at least look the part of an Andrew Luck. It has to appear as if he is going to be the guy. And if Urban Meyer can't get him to be that guy, and it could be as simple as, well, Trevor Lawrence just isn't good enough, which I don't think anyone truly believes, that's all going to fall back on Urban. That's why I also think, as much as I like Urban Meyer, I think Jacksonville was wrong here to hire Urban Meyer. Now, Urban Meyer could end up succeeding. They could end up, turning into a consistent winner. But it's one thing to get a rookie quarterback and try to build a winner, but it's also another to get an inexperienced coach and do it at the same time. I think that's why I think Cincinnati, their biggest issue is you have an unproven coach who I'm still not sold on. The Bengals have their quarterback, no doubt about it. But how much are you stunting his growth by having Zach Taylor as the coach? I'll know a month in. We'll all know a month in. I think I know now, but I'm willing to give it a month to kind of see how this team responds after making a couple tweaks in the offseason. But we saw what the Ron coach can do in Cleveland. It was a night and day difference between Baker's second year and third year. Yes, it's because Baker got locked in on approaching the season differently, but it was because they had an adult running the team. Kevin Stefanski, although a rookie head coach, had a lot more experience. You had Zach Taylor, who's a quarterback's coach. He has no experience. He's holding a clipboard for the guy who holds a clipboard, for the guy who calls the plays for the actual head coach. Zach Taylor was the wrong hire, in my opinion. Urban Meyer, I don't know if he's the wrong hire, but why would you take a gamble on a rookie head coach taking over a rookie quarterback? I don't like that. I can't think of any example. This is why I don't know if this Urban thing is going to work. I can't think of an example where a quarterback is drafted with a head coach when the team loses a lot, and then that coach keeps his job as the team turns into a winner. It didn't happen with Hugh Jackson and the Browns. In fact, we're 4 head coaches into this thing with Baker Mayfield. Like, it just doesn't happen. And I don't know if it's going to happen in Arizona. If Arizona doesn't win this year, they'll move on from their head coach as well. How many times can you guys think of a team that had the number 1 overall pick, drafted a rookie quarterback, and the head coach of that team with the number 1 overall pick remained the head coach moving forward as they rebuild? I can't think of one. Maybe there is one. Maybe I'm missing an obvious one. I just can't think of one. Now, you look at the Patriots, you look at Bill Belichick, it's a little bit of a slightly different situation as he's already been an established, proven coach, but he also didn't have the number 1 overall pick. The Jags do. And there's not a whole lot of high expectations there, but they're going to lose a lot of games this coming up year. And it's up to Urban Meyer to sell hope, to sell the future optimism. And if Urban can't do that, he's as good as gone. I just don't know. I really don't know what to expect when it comes to Urban Meyer and how this is going to work. I just don't. 815-1410, 815-1410. That's the number to call in and jump in on the conversation. In fact, we can open up the phone lines now. 518-1410. What do you guys think about Urban Meyer coming out and saying Trevor Lawrence, the job is not his stop? Joe Burrow was drafted by the Bengals. We knew it was his job. When you have the number 1 overall pick and you draft the number 1 quarterback in the draft, and it's an exciting draft like that, that's the face of your franchise. Whether they live up to the expectations or not, Trevor Lawrence is the starter. Sitting him behind Gardner Minshew does nothing. It does nothing. Joe Burrow not starting for the Bengals last year would have been a joke. It was a joke. The Browns tried playing that game. The Cleveland Browns and Hugh Jackson, because Hugh Jackson was trying to convince people that he was in control, that he knew what he was doing, and that they were going to let Tyrod Taylor be the starter for the whole time. I'm like, that's a charade. Let's just stop it. Stop wasting everyone's time. We all know Baker Mayfield's going to be the starting quarterback for this team. 2.5 games in, Hugh Jackson finally lost that battle. Baker Mayfield comes in. The rest is history. Don't be like, Trevor Lawrence is the starter. No doubt about it. But what do you guys think about Urban Meyer's future in Jacksonville? Will this work? I cannot think of a scenario where a head coach was on a bad team that drafted a rookie quarterback and was able to be a part of the struggles of the growth of the rookie quarterback into the finished product. I can't think of one. 518-1410. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to the Justin Kinner Show, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Kev Nash will be back next week, so keep that in mind. I can't be left alone that long. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
Many Vietnam War veterans were unknowingly exposed to dangerous chemicals impacting their health and quality of life. There are now expanded benefits for veterans exposed to Agent Orange. Veterans with Parkinsonism, bladder cancer, or hypothyroidism who previously applied for VA disability compensation but were denied should reapply and might be eligible for retroactive compensation. Exposed veterans who have not yet applied should consider filing a new claim. For assistance, call Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
Ad paid for by CompleteCar.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Let freedom ring. Set your alarm and get to Wendy's this Friday and Saturday morning for a free sausage or bacon, egg, and Swiss croissant. No purchase necessary. Available during breakfast hours.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on the Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner Show, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash will return to being the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash beginning next week. All right, we welcome you back. 518-1410 is the number to jump in on the conversation and just find this Urban Meyer thing a little fascinating, to be honest. Like, it's still kind of surreal. It's still weird. Thinking of Urban Meyer coaching in the NFL, like I really do. Like Alabama's Nick Saban when he went to the Dolphins at the time, of course, leaving LSU. But I just never really looked at that and thought that it looked good. It didn't have a good fit. I don't think Urban's a good fit in the NFL. I don't know. I could be wrong. I really have a hard time buying in to Urban being a long-term solution for as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I really do. We'll see how all that pans out. So a lot of interesting news and headlines coming out of Bengals camp today when it comes to Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates said Thursday that his stalled contract talks with the Bengals, that he has more work to do to prove that he's among the best. In fact, this soundbite, I know when I see it in clips, it actually looks when I read it in these highlight clips or these articles, it sounds more aggressive than the tone that I heard in the interview with Dan Horde. Dan Horde, and by the way, I did find this interesting that usually in a team setting like that radio show that they had done on Facebook earlier today, usually the hosts don't go here and bring up these uncomfortable conversations, and they don't really want to give off the perception that there's any kind of discord behind the scenes. And that's kind of what this led to. I was actually very shocked that Dan Horde asked this question. I'm glad that he did. I thought that the answer was a true, honest one. I don't think that the team deserves to always be protected. And no, I'm not just saying that because it's the Bengals. I would be saying that about the Browns or anybody. When it comes to contract negotiations, those are important conversations to have, because that's really what makes you feel comfortable about the future of the team. Now, the reason I find this whole Bates conversation interesting is because of the fact that the Bengals are so quick to get Sam Hubbard taken care of. And when you look at how good Hubbard has been and how good Bates has been, my big thing is yes, Hubbard's really good, but Bates is better. So why would you fork over cash to Hubbard before you would Bates? I'm having a hard time justifying that. I've been critical of the Bengals. I know, shocker. I just don't think they do a good job of when you look at needs assessment. I don't think they do a very good job at all of whenever they kind of map out all of the needs that they have. I think they do a horrible job of prioritizing the needs. Okay, we have 10 needs. Let's rank these needs from highest priority to least priority. Was Hubbard's contract at such a high priority that they had to put Bates' contract on the back burner, and now they're heading in to the first preseason game on Saturday and in possibly the regular season without getting a deal done? Some are so confident that a deal can get done, but it sounds like, according to a couple reports, that things are getting a little dicey behind the scenes when it comes to the back and forth between these. Take a listen. Here's Jesse Bates when asked by Dan Horde his thoughts on the ongoing contract negotiations and talks with the team.
Yeah, I think as far as my contract goes, I guess I haven't done enough yet to be considered one of the top safeties in this league. So, which is fine. That's fine with me. I'm gonna go to work just like any other day. My first 3 years being here.
What'd you guys think about that comment from Jesse Bates? In the articles, they're trying to be shaped as if that was a shot at the organization. I mean, maybe if it's a shot at the organization and they take it that way, that's their guilty conscience kind of doing the work for them. But I thought it was a good answer. What he's basically saying is, hey, I believe I'm one of the top safeties in football, and apparently I'm not, because if I was, they'd pay me by now. The thing I really do want to hammer here is that Bates is one of the top safeties in football, arguably, top three, maybe the best. I don't know, but the bottom line is that the dude needs paid. And that if the Bengals truly looked at him and valued him, that I don't know why they would waste time getting this done, especially when there was no contract negotiations with Hubbard as far as getting out of hand, as far as getting to the media, as far as any fans getting uncomfortable. Why would the Hubbard deal get done at ease and this one is being dragged out? Is it because Hubbard accepted maybe a low ball offer, or Hubbard's not an elite star to the point to where, he was expecting more than what he was offered? I think Hubbard just wanted the extension, and I have no problem with that extension, but I do have a problem with a talent like that getting money before the needed talent, and of course, Bates. I follow the Cleveland Browns situation closely too. They also had a lot of needs coming up. They also inherited a ton of talent that they've collected over the years in the draft, and they have a lot of talent that needs paid, and they're all coming up at the same time, which means you now have to make a list of all the guys that have contract negotiations coming up, and you have to prioritize which pieces do we feel are the most important to make sure we get this done. And that's why there was no delay in Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett got taken care of years ago, and there was no doubt about it that the Browns valued him. Nick Chubb, although I question the position of which you give him money, I don't question Nick Chubb getting that money because Nick Chubb is just on a whole other level as far as a running back is concerned. He's right up there with Derrick Henry and the top running backs in the NFL. I have no problem with him getting paid. I talked about Denzel Ward yesterday. I drag my feet if I'm the Browns when it comes to Denzel Ward. I'm in no hurry to sign Denzel Ward because although we know who he is from a talent perspective, we also know who he is as an availability perspective prospect, and he's never available. Always injured. He's been missing multiple days in camp already because of soreness, whatever the hell that means. So when it comes to Baker Mayfield, I believe the dude's super talented. I believe that the guy deserves to be paid, but I also believe that you need to be as sure as possible of who he is. Great rookie year, down second year, comes back up third year. I think we need to know in year 4, if there are more down years than up years, that kind of makes it easier on the Browns as far as what the money line should be coming in on the Baker Mayfield contract negotiation. As far as Jesse Bates is concerned, I don't think there's any debate. He's reliable. He on a horrible defense. He's been a part of the worst defenses in the history of the NFL the last couple of years, but he's been one of the few bright spots that the Bengals should feel good about. He's been one of the few bright spots on that historically bad defense, and you're going to sit here and drag your feet on paying him, but Sam Hubbard gets a deal fairly quickly. I don't get that. And I understand Bengals fans who are frustrated as far as that goes. Now, yesterday I said I could defend the Bengals organization to a certain extent, mainly because when I talk about prioritizing the needs, I'm sure that they need Jesse Bates. They want Jesse Bates. But if they feel like they can go and get a cheaper safety out there, although they are acknowledging that he won't be as good as Jesse Bates, they also have to start looking at where they've forked over their money. They've spent well over $200 million on that defense the last couple of years. Folks, what happens if the Bengals are ranked in the bottom 10 of defensive efficiency this year? What happens if they are still a bad defense? And I think there's a good chance that they will be. What happens when where do they go when that time comes? You've invested money into Hubbard. You've brought in good pass rushers. Now you have a safety who's going to need some serious coin to keep him there. The Bengals are traditionally known as a cheap organization, but they do take care of their own, which also makes me wonder why they haven't pulled this trigger yet. They have always been good at taking care of their own. Bates is theirs. Why would you not? Why would you get deals done with free agents before you get this guy taken care of? It just doesn't make any sense to me. However, what could make sense to me that the Bengals could be doing is saying, we really love Jesse Bates. We value Jesse Bates. We know what he brings to the table, but we also know how much it's going to cost to keep him here. And we also have to look at, we have spent over $200 million on this defense the last couple of seasons. At some point, we do need to invest money into the offense. We can't have another contract that we're forking over big money to a defensive player. They spend a lot of money in this offseason. They bring a Woozy over from the Cowboys. They get Hilton from the Steelers. Hopefully the DJ Reader's healthy from who they acquired last offseason. There's a lot of money they invested in this defense. And now they're going to have to spend a ton more to be able to extend Bates. And you'll probably get him at an even cheaper deal. Imagine if Bates does dominate this year. Now the asking price goes up. Get it done. But if they're not getting it done right now, if they're dragging their feet now, to me, if I'm reading the tea leaves a little bit, what they're telling me is they're not telling you he isn't good. They're not telling you that they don't value him. I think what Mike Brown and company is telling you is, we have to slow down with how much more money we keep pumping into this defense, especially if it's a defense that might be the worst in the division this year. The Bengals defense will probably be the worst defense in the AFC North. And it will probably be bottom 10 defense in the NFL, even with all the weapons that they have. Because like I said, they have a couple weapons here and there. They're spread out, but they have a good corner, a good safety, a good pass rusher, but they don't have a great pass rush. Does that make sense? You have a good pass rusher, but you don't have a great pass rushing defense. You have a good corner, but you don't have a great secondary. You have a good safety, but you're not deep there. So that's where I'm at with the Bengals. I'm not hating. I'm just pointing that out. That was the Browns last year. They had a good pass rusher in Myles Garrett. They were a horrible pass rushing team. That's why they had to go out and get Jadeveon Clowney. Don't know if that's going to work. Sounds like he's having a good camp. but it's Jadeveon Clowney. Can't trust him, right? The Browns had Denzel Ward last year. Great corner, but the Browns still had a horrible secondary, right? Like, so that's where I'm at with the Bengals. Hilton, good. Not a great secondary. Bates, good. Still not a lot of depth there at safety. Good pass rusher and Hendrickson that they just got, but they need more. They need more. And we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this defense will be lights out, and that's going to be who they are this year, because I think they're going to have to focus more on the defensive side. I don't know how explosive Burrow's going to be as he eases into the season, gets comfortable with that knee. I'm not happy with the Bengals if they don't pay Bates, but I can understand where they're coming from. Bates will be a casualty of mismanagement of money and what they've done the last couple of seasons. I think they panicked when they lost a couple of their key guys. They forked over some money they probably shouldn't have, and now they don't have money to take care of Bates, and I think that's a problem. I think the Hubbard contract was a mistake. That should not have gotten done until Bates was taken care of, because now you have to ask yourself, okay, if we were going to play hardball in contract negotiations, I would have rather overpaid to keep Bates, not had enough money to keep Hubbard happy, and then replace Hubbard if you have to. Now you're going to keep Hubbard happy. Bates is unhappy. Bates could be gone at the end of this season, or demand a trade, or hold out, and it just becomes a very, very murky mess at that point. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Nick on Facebook says the Bates deal is waiting on the Jamal Adams deal. That is what is holding this up. But look, at the end of the day, well, Nick, what do you mean by that in regards to, because it sounds like they've already named their price and the Bengals aren't willing to meet him there. The Jamal Adams deal could make this an even bigger deal that the Bengals aren't willing to address. So are you saying, 518-1410, are you saying that this deal gets done? Nick, do you believe it gets done? I'm just curious your thoughts as a Bengals fan. Bengals fans, do you guys think this gets done? Like, I don't know if it does. And by the way, when Bates said that, maybe I'm not as good as I think. He is as good as he thinks. And just because he doesn't get paid by the Bengals doesn't mean that he is not as good as he thinks. It just means he's going to get paid elsewhere, is how this is going to go. Anthony Bauer on Facebook says franchise Bates, and maybe that's what they do. But if I'm Bates, I'm going to say I'm not going to risk getting hurt and missing out on a major payday playing on a franchise tag. Pay me. You paid Hubbard. They've spent and that's the problem. They've spent over $200 million on the defense the last 2 off seasons. And then you're going to franchise your homegrown talent. You built him. You drafted him. He developed under your watch, and you're going to franchise tag him. But you've been spitting out money left and right to bring in Hilton, to bring in Awuzie, to bring in other guys. Look, this isn't the typical I hate the Bengals segment. I'm being serious here. Where do they go? I think it's a bad look if they don't pay him what he's worth, but I don't think they're going to pay him because I don't think they have a lot of money left to do it. Now, they have cap space to do it, but keep in mind, just because you have cap space to do it doesn't mean you do it, because there's also going to be some questions about the offense coming up. They're going to have to make, if this offensive line is not it this year, folks, I don't think Mike Brown has a choice but to spend money on that O-line next offseason. And if they are legitimate, if they end up being good, that's egg on my face. I'll make scrambled eggs with it. But as far as where we sit right now, I think that there's a little bit of anxiousness in that front office because they've spent a lot of money and they're still not very, very good. They're not going to, I think, let's say best case scenario, they improve to 7 or 8 wins this year, which I don't see. But if they get to 8 wins, you're still not where you want to be. You get to 7 to 8 wins. You got to 7 to 8 wins with over $200 million being spent on your defense the last 2 years, and you're probably not going to be very good defensively. You're going to be okay. I don't see this going well for Bates and the Bengals. Jake Whiting, Bengals fan, says, no, not this year. I do not see this getting done. All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Medicine. I'm curious where this goes. Like I said, I'm not really defending the front office, but I am looking at it from the perspective of the front office isn't going to be able to get this done. So to Nick's point, talking about that Jamal Adams deal, if they're waiting on a deal to get done so that they can have a bar of where the money's going to be, it sounds like Bates and his team have already told him, this is what we want. And it sounds like the Bengals aren't willing to go there, which means that's why they're at an impasse, and that's why they're heading into the season without getting a deal done. We'll see, but I don't see this going real well. All right, we'll step away for a few moments. We're going to talk Reds baseball coming up top of the hour. David Bell, very interested in how he's going to manage this final month and a half. We're going to talk about baseball as the king sport of load management. We talk load management a lot in the NBA. The NBA does actually the NBA does load management better than baseball, and I'll explain. That's all coming up. It's the Justin Kinder Show presented by Orion Sports Medicine. If you want to call in, give us a call, 518-1410. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Pop quiz. What's the best way to protect your family's future? It's life insurance from Fabric. Fabric has modernized getting term life insurance. It's simple, quick, all online, and surprisingly affordable. Like $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day affordable. And you could be approved on the spot. Try Fabric risk-free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your family's future today at meetfabric.com/sports. That's MEET fabric.com/sports. Fabric Insurance Agency policies issued by Mantis Life. Not available in New York and Montana. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
DoorDash here with Summer of Dash Pass. Right now, Dash Pass members are taking $10 off groceries, alcohol, pet food, and more. Need a nightcap? $10 off. Got a cough? Get relief delivered for less. Want to surprise your crush? Send a gift and save. Try Dash Pass for free and get special savings, exclusive menu items, and $0 delivery fees year-round. Get more from your neighborhood now with Dash Pass in the DoorDash app. And stay cool out there. Terms and conditions apply.
School's out for summer, but if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. Their manual processes, integration difficulties, and glitchy delays will leave you scrambling for the numbers you need. Failing to graduate to NetSuite will leave you stuck in summer school while your friends party. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system, no matter how big your business grows. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more, NetSuite is everything you need to grow all in one place. Automate your processes with NetSuite and close your books in no time. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since graduating to NetSuite. Special financing is back. NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program to those ready to graduate.
Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
Hi, this is Sales Manager Jason High of Germain Honda Beaver Creek, personally inviting you to take advantage of the 0% financing on the Honda HR-V, Passport, and Pilot. Germain Honda has over 200 new Hondas to choose from, including the redesigned 2021 Honda Ridgeline and the 2022 Honda Odyssey, plus over 30 of the brand new 2022 Honda Civics to choose from. Now that's a selection no one else in the region can claim. Route 35 just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way.
Hi folks, it's me again, and I'm cooking in the sun just like you are. But you know, you can still plant those trees and shrubs right now, and with proper watering, still gain a full summer's growth. We keep our garden center fully stocked all summer long with thousands of good, healthy trees, shrubs, evergreens, perennials, and annuals, because we know that some folks just can't get it all done in the spring. Also, this time of the year, there are lots of bargains all over our 6-acre nursery and greenhouses. We have potted rose bushes as low as $8.95, flats of annuals starting at $8.95, and hanging baskets starting at $6.95. We still have a great selection of Rose of Sharon, boxwoods, hydrangeas, and barberry, and lots of ponds, pottery, and statuary. So come on out to 1309 Brand Pike, and remember, we're open 7 days.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well. Medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Greatness. It's not born of coincidence. It's not a product of luck. It's forged through dedication, drills, and the acquisition of new skills. Wanting won't get you there, but sweat equity just might.
Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street wants to wish the Dayton Flyers Red Scare the best of luck in their journey through the basketball tournament. Wear red, be loud, go Flyers!
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up? We'll help you find everything you need to do the job right. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $28.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
All right, we welcome you back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. No Kev Nash today. Kev Nash out on vacation. He will return next week. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube, so go and check that out. I can't believe it's August 12th today. September 12th is when the regular season will kick off, or at least for the Browns and the Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals will open up on Sunday, September 12th, as they welcome in the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be a 1 p.m. kickoff for those of you Bengals fans out there. And then, of course, the Cleveland Browns, they drew the short stick because they open up not just against Kansas City, but at Kansas City, week 1, September 12th. And I know everyone's, or at least I am, I'm looking forward to that. I think Bengals fans are looking forward to that matchup too, because I think they would love to open up with a win against Minnesota, to feel the enjoyment and excitement of a win, all while getting to talk smack to Kinner on September 14th, a Monday, after the Browns most likely get beat by the Kansas City Chiefs. But that wasn't an official prediction. That's just, I think common sense, even for me, says, I don't look, bottom line, it's the freaking Chiefs, man. Like, as much as I love the Browns and I think that their roster is absolutely loaded, I think that I'm going to be loaded that weekend because I'm going to be real nervous about the Browns opening up with the Chiefs. That's a crappy tone setter because there's a good chance they lose to the Chiefs. And that's a very bad tone setter for the season, at least for me. I talk too much smack for the Browns to be 0-1 after week 1. Just saying. Just saying. By the way, for those of you who are going to see Rob Schneider tonight at Day Air Ballpark, this was released earlier. Some of you have probably seen it on Facebook. It's hot out. It's really, really hot out. We got this sent to us for the Rob Schneider concert, or the comedy show, I should say, tonight at Day Air Ballpark. Due to the warm temperatures, the start time of the show has been pushed back 30 minutes to 8 o'clock tonight. Stadium gates will still open at 6:30. Stadium concession stands will also be available for food and beverages. As far as beverages are concerned, drinks lots of water. It's a little warm out today. Now I'm going to golf. I get off early here today because the Reds are taking over just under an hour from now. So I'm excited to go golf and telling you guys to drink water. Hopefully I follow my own advice and drink some water as well. Justin Kinner Show, presented by Orion Sports Medicine, live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Head to Facebook and search for the Justin Kinner Show and jump in the conversation there, or be a part of YouTube, ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. So, and we're going to get to our callers here in just a moment, but we started a contest, a caption contest today on the Facebook page, and I want you guys to go and check it out. It's Mike Brown sitting in a golf cart, kind of leaned back, looking up at Joe Mixon. Now, Mike Brown has a smile ear to ear, but Joe Mixon looks to just be cracking up. So it's a caption contest, and I'm giving away free Reds tickets. The caption, whoever provide the funniest caption, whatever the funniest caption is for this, will win 4 free Reds tickets to an upcoming game. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show. I mean, what did Mike Brown say that has Joe Mixon just rolling? A lot of the comments coming in are inappropriate, so I can't read all of them, and I'll provide a couple ones coming up around the corner. But head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show. The caption this contest, Reds tickets will go, of course, to the one that makes me laugh the most. And there's some good ones on there. My caption was Mike Brown telling Joe Mixon that his favorite sports radio show is the Justin Kinner Show. I think we all know that that's BS, right? Like, there's no way in hell that that's actually the case. But nonetheless, do your best, make me laugh. I hang out solo by myself. There's Kev, there's no one in this building. It's just me. I get lonely. I need a good laugh from time to time. So provide the funniest caption for this, and you might be in the running to win a free pair of, well, not pair, but 4 Reds tickets to an upcoming game at Great American Ballpark. So go and check that out one more time. So we're talking about, of course, Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates was asked today by Dan Horde in the Bengals Radio Hour about his thoughts on the ongoing contract negotiations. Now, here's Jesse Bates' comments on that. And again, a lot of people wanted to take these comments and run with it and say that there's problems brewing. I don't know if there's problems necessarily brewing. I just because you can't come to an agreement on an asking price at a certain time, I don't think that this is a big time, I guess if you want to say distraction. I think that it could lead to it. But here's Jesse Bates when asked about the ongoing contract negotiations between his team and the Bengals.
Yeah, I think as far as my contract goes, I guess I haven't done enough yet to be considered one of the top safeties in this league. So, which is fine. That's fine with me. I'm going to go to work just like any other day. My first 3 years being here.
So I had no problem with what he said. Now, listen, I am the king of digs, okay? And I'm not a volleyball player. I'm just saying I'm a king of jabs, and I'm not a boxer. I am a king of making sly remarks. I've heard that line used before. I am the king of that. I know what a jab is. I know what a sly remark is. I know what, you know what I mean? Like making a dig at somebody. Maybe there was a little of that in there, but I don't think, sometimes we think a dig is a dig, and half the time it's just the truth. Now, I don't believe that Bates has not proven himself. I think he has proven himself. In fact, I think he's proven himself to the point to where the Bengals knew, oh, crap, this is going to be some serious money we have to pay for this position. Maybe we should slow down on the money we're spending in free agency or what have you. And I think that the Bengals, who have been aggressive, I think that they want to get better. I think that Mike Brown is tired of all the losing. I think that he has dug himself a hole that he is trying to dig himself out of pretty quickly. Very similar to Jerry Jones. And no, I'm not comparing Mike Brown to Jerry Jones, but they are, up there in age. And I think there is desperation to put a winner out on the field. And sometimes when you get desperate, you don't make the best business decisions. You make the best, you make the worst business decisions because you're making impulse decisions. And I think that that's what the Bengals have done in free agency. They've made impulse decisions to try to shore up this defense because they believe that they are quicker to being a contender with the defense buttoned up more so than the offense because they like their offense. They think the offense is solid. The problem is the line's not, but I don't really want to get into that right now. I'm interested to see, and I'm fascinated by where this could potentially go between the Bengals and Jesse Bates. But 518-1410, where do you see this going? Is this a deal that's going to get done before week 1? And there's no way that they can do the 5th-year option, right? Like, you can't tag them, right? Like, I feel like that's going to really lead to some issues down the stretch, especially since they paid Hubbard. Let's go to the phones. 518-1410. We got Nick in Dayton. Nick, how are you, man? Nick, you there? All right, Nick, give us a call back and we'll get you taken care of. 518-1410. More of you callers are on hold. We'll get to you on the other side, but we're going to talk some Reds on the other side as well. We got a full show tomorrow. James Rapine covers the Bengals for The Athletic, or for Sports Illustrated. I'm sorry. We're going to chat with him. and dive into that. But I'm excited to see what people have to say about that, or at least what James has to say about that. And we'll get to your calls on the other side. All right, we'll step away for a few moments, and we'll take your calls, and we'll also dive into the Cincinnati Reds conversation. David Bell has done an awesome job of getting the Reds to this point. He has gotten the Reds to the point where they are fighting it out for a pennant. But David Bell will also be the reason why they don't make it. We'll talk about that coming up here in hour number 2. Reds baseball coming up, 5:10 the first pitch, 4:40 the pregame. We'll hand it off to Tommy throwing the Cowboy at 4:40, but we still got 40 minutes to go. We'll be back in just a moment. 518-1410. Give us a call.
You may have heard that Allstate has new low auto rates, but isn't it time to see for yourself? Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Attention Class A CDL drivers. Looking to be more than just a number? Yoel Transportation in Dayton is looking for drivers with at least 1.5 years experience. Yoel has open positions for no-tarp flatbed drivers and no-touch regional or local van drivers. Yoel is ELD compliant and offers 401k with match, medical, dental, vision, holiday pay, vacation, safety bonuses, and now has a rider policy. Call Rick or Joe at 937-294-5933 and ask about the $5,000 sign-on bonus today.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Over the last year and a half, we all learned some hard lessons. One of the most important is that you can't put off the inevitable. Hi, this is Mark Davis at Dayton Memorial Park Cemetery and Mausoleums. No matter how hard it is to think about, we all need a final resting place. When pre-planning with your funeral home, please remember that cemetery arrangements must also be made. Call us today at 937-890-1831 or visit our website at DaytonMemorialPark.com. And remember, Dayton Memorial Park is a beautiful place to celebrate life.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio. We're live. We're local. We're Dayton's ESPN radio station. Let's send it to the WING studios for Dayton's only local sports talk show. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
Hour number 2, we have Reds baseball coming up, 5:10 the first pitch, Reds and Braves. So I look to wrap up that series and just look every time. And my boss walked by earlier today and said, the damn Reds. I said, absolutely, man. Like every time, like I try to convince myself, don't get attached. It's like the Reds are like when you see a puppy. Oh, it's cute. You kind of want it, but it's like, if you don't get too close to it because you know you're not going to want it. You're not going to be able to get. That's the Reds. The Reds get you sucked in, you buy in, and then they let you down. They haven't fully let us down yet, but it feels like they're sliding. It feels like they are slipping a bit, and we'll talk about that coming up here in a moment. This Jesse Bates conversation, I want to pick up with your phone calls, 518-1410, 518-1410. Let's go to Nick. Nick in Dayton, thanks for being patient, man. How are you?
No worries. So the reason I think the deal gets done, the reason I referenced the Adams deal is I think when you heard Bates say that comment yesterday, his camp, I think, came in at the number that Adams turned down from Seattle. So, you know how the Bengals don't like to have anybody paid at the top of their position. I think they're waiting to see what the Adams number comes in at, and they're going to try to get Bates done a little bit below that.
But see, I mean, again, that's fine if that's what the Bengals want, but it doesn't mean that Bates has to accept that either. So
no,
you're
right.
But the thing is, though, is like, man, and I get that whole thing of not wanting to make someone the highest paid at their position. Like, I kind of agree with that. I don't think that that's necessary. And I still think that when you look at with all the money that the Bengals have invested into this defense over the last couple of years, they could be saying, man, do we really want to make him the highest paid at his position? Like, we already have so much money invested in this defense, over $200 million the last couple of years. Like, what do we do here? I think there's more going on than just, not being able to agree on a number. I'm wondering if the Bengals are juggling the idea of, do we even try to bring him back and just go for a cheaper safety when that time comes? I would just hate to see that because he's theirs.
I don't know why players are in such a rush to get their deals done, because here's the thing, you get your deal done now, that's fine. You sign a 4 or 5 year deal contract, you're going okay. You wait till next year, you're getting the salary cap ballooning and the TV money hits. You can have 10 to 20% more instead of just a 5% increase. So I don't understand why players are trying to rush to get deals done for that reason.
Yeah, and I think it's because, and this is why some teams they like to set the precedent of, we're going to get this deal done early, take care of you, that way we don't have to worry about it. And then it sets the tone for when other players at that particular position all of a sudden look at their team like, okay, come on. Like, for instance, and a quarterback's not a good position to use to reference for others, but the Chiefs, they took care of Patrick Mahomes before it even got to the negotiation stage. It was like, name your price. What do you want? Let's just get this over with. There's no need to even get to the point to where we're going to have risking any holdouts or anything. And so now other teams across the NFL, like the Ravens, right away were looked at, okay, are you going to take care of your guy now? Because look what the Chiefs just did. So that's kind of what this is too. But you're right, the Jamal Adams thing does play a huge role in where this is going to go. But I'm just wondering the mindset of Mike Brown in the front office. Are they even looking to try to make him a high offer? That's going to be the big thing.
I think they are, because you heard a lot of talk about how he's taking the next steps in leadership and what he's doing with all the guys there. So I think they want to get it done. I think, like I said, I think they're really waiting to see where the Adams contract falls, and then they want to negotiate just under that. And I think that's where Jesse has to ask himself. And the other thing is, I don't know what the years that they're talking. Are they talking a 3 to 4 year deal, and Jesse wants 2 to 3? That's another question that I think I'd love to have the insight on that.
Yeah, and in every article I read, they try to shape it as he took this dirty dig at the team. When you listen to it, I enjoyed the interview. I actually thought he gave a good interview. I actually thought he said all the right things. Maybe it was a slight dig, but it wasn't disrespectful. He didn't, you know what I mean? He didn't attack anybody. I just thought that the headlines were trying to shape it as, oh man, he's unhappy. He took the shot at the team. I'm sure he's not thrilled that they haven't got a deal done, but I don't think it's going to be a distraction yet. It could lead to that. I just don't think it's a distraction for the Bengals right now, unless
no, I don't think so either.
So
I think the media is going to try to spin it however they can, right?
And I would never do that. I'm always pro Bengals. But this was my chance to take something and run with it. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I don't think that this is that big of a deal right now. I see, social media reaction, pay him. I mean, I don't know why. I think the Hubbard thing is why I'm scratching my head. Like, why get that done without any bumps in the road? And then this one you're dragging your feet on. I guess but it's a different kind of money.
Yeah, so you look at the Hubbard deal, there's nothing really to compare about it. He's not a top talent. They didn't put him in anywhere in like the top rankings of defensive ends or anything like that. So it was an easier deal to do. Jesse Bates is a borderline Pro Bowl player and probably should have been on the Pro Bowl last year. So you're in different realms, right? And you're talking about he is one of the top safeties in the league. But is he that top safety, or is it Jamal Adams, which you can go back and forth. But I think that's what's really hindering this up. So you have a good one. Enjoy your golf. Drink plenty of Gatorade because it is hot, sir.
And keep that baby quiet.
Hey, it's your voice. She loves hearing you, man.
Yeah, I'm sure she does. That explains the crying, by the way. All right, man, you take care. All right, 518-1410. Yeah, he sounded like he had to get out of there in a hurry. Aye. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Let's go to Logan. Logan, thanks for holding. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you, Kev?
Good. This is Kinner, by the way, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. I just want to hear what you have to say.
I think the Bengals are rolling the dice on not giving him his extension now, because in a year, if he has a Pro Bowl year and does get taken into the Pro Bowl this year, he's going to want way more money next year. And he is probably going to be wanting that top paid safety spot if he produces like he did last year. And I think it's a big roll of the dice not signing him right now and not getting that extension out right now.
So you think, saying that's why when I talked to Nick, it was like kind of what's the hurry? But it really shouldn't be. We were asking what's the hurry from the player perspective, but there should be in a hurry from the team perspective, because you're right. If he goes out there and balls out this year, let's say that the team improves. If the team improves, which I envision that they will, how much, that's the big question, but they're going to improve and he's going to take a step forward and be even better than what he was last year. And then his asking price is going to go up. But now you don't want to mess with team chemistry. If you've taken that step forward, you don't want to risk them taking a step back as he sits out and threatens to sit out games or whatever until he gets paid. So you're right from that angle. The team should be trying to be proactive on this and not reactionary. It's like they're waiting for him to make the move and they need to be the ones making the move here. I agree with you on that from that angle.
I think he's totally cool with waiting until next year. I don't think he has a problem with waiting until next year, because I think he's going to show out this year.
Yeah, that interview, it didn't sound like he was frustrated with it. I mean, he did say, hey, this is the last I'm going to comment on it. This isn't about me. It's about the team. I thought the interview was great. I didn't think that he sounded disgruntled. I don't think that there was any ill will there. But you're right, though. The team that's the side that's going to come out with egg on their face is going to be the Bengals, because they're going to have to pay him way more possibly a year from now than what they would if they would just give him his asking price now, because we all know that market's going to keep moving. That post is going to keep moving and moving as far as what that number is going to be.
That's right. Who day?
Adios, man. 518-1410, 518-1410. I am an hour and 8 minutes into the show, and I think I've done a pretty good job with you Bengals fans. Now, until then, it's the caption pick. What is Mike Brown saying? For those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, check this out. What is Mike Brown saying to Joe Mixon to get him to laugh so hard? What is going on here? What could he possibly be saying to have Joe Mixon with his head cocked all the way back, losing his mind? Is Mike Brown a funny guy? Does he make jokes? Is he a joke teller? Is he a jokey McJokerson? Does he look like a funny guy? I don't know. He just seems, I've never once looked at Mike Brown and said that there is some kind of personality in there that is going to bring out a bellow of laughter like what we're watching from Joe Mixon. So what could he have possibly said? It's a caption contest. I'm giving away 4 free Reds tickets to whoever can make me laugh the hardest. Head to Facebook, search the Justin Kinner Show, and leave your answer in the comment section. And I'm going to be reaching out on Facebook and giving you guys some Reds tickets. So head there now. Again, check it out. Again, it's on the Justin Kinner Show on Facebook. But yes, what could he possibly be saying? As he's possibly telling Joe Mixon, man, I love that Justin Kinner Show weekdays from 3 to 6. He's always saying something nice about the Bengals. Is that what he's saying? What could he possibly be saying? Fill it in. Make me laugh. I'm alone here. I have no one with me. I'm by myself. I need a good laugh. So please help out. Come on. 4 free Reds tickets to the person who can make me laugh the hardest when it comes to that. All right. 518-1410, the old-fashioned way. Caller, what's up? What's your name?
Hi, Chris.
Chris, how are you, sir?
Good. How you doing, Justin?
Not too bad. What do you got for us?
Hey, I think they have to pay him. Because recently the Bengals have actually been pretty good with getting their guys deals. Looking back at like Geno and AJ and Andy Dalton, they've all been pretty team friendly. I think that Jesse Bates knows he's one of the top safeties, and I think he's going to take it until he gets paid like the top safety.
Well, and that's the other thing, too. Jesse Bates, the reason, because he sounds so cool, calm, and collected. And what'd you say your name was again? I forgot to write it down. What's your name?
Chris.
All right, so Chris, he seems so cool, calm, and collected, Chris, because mainly he's like, well, it's not a matter of me taking less. I'm going to get paid one way or another. It's either going to be Mike Brown signing the check or it's going to be another team signing the check. Like, I think that's why he's so cool, calm, and collected. He's not worried. There's no desperation there. I think that it's the voice of a guy that's like, yeah, I'm about to get paid one way or another. It's just a matter of whether you're going to give me the money or not. Right? Like, I think that's kind of what this comes down to.
No, absolutely. I think the last thing that they want to do is let him hit the market, because he hits the market, then they're gonna pay a lot more than they would right now.
Yeah, and the last caller brought up a good point too, that the Bengals, if they want, like, if the Bengals have already said we will get a deal done with him, the best business decision is to get it done now before that asking price goes up. And I think that's where this is headed. So it'll be interesting to see that. But then again, the Bengals have bad business practices, and they probably will wait till a year from now and then pay a significant amount more to keep them, which will make Bengals fans happy. But keep in mind, we're getting closer and closer to that Joe Burrow contract conversation. I know that sounds crazy because you're only heading into year 2, but heading into year 3 is when you start envisioning what a Joe Burrow contract is going to look like. And I think that they have some other weapons they have to start paying attention to as well, as far as a payday is concerned. So they
and then what happens if they're bad again? What happens if they're bad again? I mean, the Browns are one of the teams that lucked out to get John Johnson for so cheap. But if the Bengals are bad again, that's not going to happen because players don't want to stay or go to a bad team.
That's why I said yesterday, it's not like the Bengals have to stop doing this thing in their head where the players are trying out for them. The organization eventually has to start trying out for the players. Like, they have to start showing off to the players, because, at the end of the day, like, Mike Brown is acting as if like, oh, this is a destination spot. It's not. Joe Burrow made them a destination spot. Like, guys are taking chances of coming to Cincinnati because they're curious about the uprise of Joe Burrow. But if they mishandled Joe Burrow and they mess this deal up with Bates, all of a sudden now it's like, man, they're right back to being a mess again. They had a get out of jail free card when they got Joe Burrow with that number 1 overall pick. And man, they got to make sure that they keep this positive mojo going. And it starts with taking care of Bates on the defensive side as well.
I agree. Hey, thanks for the call, Justin.
Hey, take care, man. All right. 518-1410, 518-1410. You Bengals fans are all right. You're not bad. I've enjoyed my conversation with you guys today. You guys are bringing some good stuff to the table. I appreciate that. All right. Like I said, 518-1410. Okay. So here's the deal. The Cincinnati Reds. First pitch coming up 5:10. 4:40 the pregame. And we are a Cincinnati Reds affiliate, and it is I'm even wearing the Reds garb today. It's my job to keep the hype going. I just can't do it. I can't do the hype train when it comes to the Cincinnati Reds. I just can't. It's very frustrating. I feel like they have, that show Catfish. I feel like I've been catfished. I feel like I started to fall in love with something that's not there. I started to fall in love with the playoff team, and that's non-existent. Last year does not count as a playoff team, by the way. It just doesn't. Last year's roster was better. Last year's roster was built for 162 games. If they would have had last year's roster this year, and I'm not talking about Trevor Bauer's legal situation. I just mean, if last year would have been a full 162 game season, good chance the Reds win that division. I mean, I know they didn't hit well last year, but I think all of the results of the Reds last year were based on a wonky start to the season, only 60 games, expanded playoff field. There was nothing normal about last year, but that roster was a good roster. I don't think that the front office gets enough credit for that roster that was put together. COVID totally changed the direction of the Cincinnati Reds and where they were going. And I don't think that people consider that when they look at where the Reds were heading. That team was set up to make a deep run in the playoffs. That team was set up to compete with the Cubs and the Brewers at the top of the division. That team was set up for success. Then COVID happened and the rest is history. But as we sit here right now, the Cincinnati Reds have now lost 3 straight. They are 8 games back in the NL Central. They're 6-4 in their last. They were rolling. I was at Great American Ballpark this past Sunday, and it was the first time I had been to Great American Ballpark that I felt like, oh man, these fans they're just chomping at the bit. That there is genuine excitement and love and passion for this team right now. And by the way, Joey Votto, hats off to him. You remember when Marty Brennaman did the whole that, we don't pay you. The Reds don't pay you to lead the league in on base percentage. They don't, pay you to walk. And all the advanced stat nerds, they lost their mind. Oh, get that old curmudgeon out of here. Marty Brennaman, by the way, a Hall of Famer who has called baseball longer than these dudes have been alive, trying to tell him that he doesn't know baseball. Cracks me up. Excellent stuff. They pretend to be smart with their numbers and calculators and stuff, but then they say stupid things like Marty Brennaman doesn't know baseball. Shove your calculator where the sun don't shine, dude. That's all I got to say about that. But the Cincinnati Reds, when Marty Brennaman said, Joey Votto, the Reds don't pay you to lead the league in on-base percentage. They pay you to lead the team. Joey Votto has not been playing good baseball for a few years now. And Marty Brennaman was right. Joey Votto had that MVP caliber season in 2017. He had a couple down years before that due to injury. And then when he would come back, he wasn't hitting he didn't have power. He wasn't getting base hits. If he was on base, it was because he would draw a walk. That's it. Joey Votto has been bad the last couple of seasons. This year is the best Joey Votto I've seen since 2017. It's 2021. It's been 3.5 years since we have seen Joey Votto play like this. So I just wanted to bring that up, that while all the advanced stat nerds are losing their mind, oh, I knew Joey Votto still bangs, which is such a weird, Joey Votto bangs. I don't know where that came from or where it started. It's very weird, but whatever. They even have a bus, I guess. They created a bus that says Joey Votto bangs on there. Like I said, there's so many inappropriate jokes. I could probably get fired and suspended for half the jokes I want to make about that, but whatever. Bottom line is Joey Votto, everyone's like, oh, Justin, you have nothing to say now? Where are you now? You've been nothing but critical of Joey Votto. You are I can't even say that word. I just literally lost my temper right there because I literally am seeing this on social media. People coming at me saying, where's Kinner? I thought Joey Votto sucked. Where's Kinner? I thought you didn't like Joey Votto. What, you have nothing to say now? No, I don't have anything to say now. Because it's really not that hard to comprehend, people. And this goes to some of you Bengals fans. I feel like I think we've closed the gap on our friendship today. I think we're getting better. But there are select few of you who are delusional and fools. And it's not a Bengals thing. I just think it's who you are in life. And that's fine. Bottom line is this. It is my job to give my opinion on teams and players. And when players are playing bad and I say they're playing bad, it's because they're playing bad. This is what the advanced stat nerds wanted to say. Joey Votto can go 0 for 16 over a 2-week stretch or over a 1-week stretch. And I would say, man, Joey Votto's bad. And then you would have the advanced stat calculator nerd come at me and say, oh, yeah, way to disrespect a Reds all-time great. Well, we're not having a debate about is he an all-time great or not. I'm giving my opinion on who they are now. And Joey Votto right now is amazing to watch. 2 home runs last night, doing his best to carry the Reds. Joey Votto also doesn't give enough credit because Castellanos has missed pretty much the entire important chunk of that Reds run second half. They got beat, of course, swept by the Brewers, of course, coming out. Castellanos, who's their MVP candidate, missed some significant time, missed weeks. There was no excuse for the Reds offense to continue clicking as if he wasn't there. They were able to go on that run that they did offensively and win-wise because of Joey Votto. Joey Votto has been fantastic. I never, ever look at a good player and say that they're bad just to say that they're bad. Joey Votto was bad. I said he was bad. Joey Votto was good. Now I'm saying he's good. Now that I've moved on from that part of the conversation, I want to talk about this Reds team right now. I don't know who the heck they are. This is why, and I called this out a week ago. I wanted to say I hate being right, but I don't. I enjoy being right, and I'm right again. I asked a week ago, who are the Reds? Can the Reds fans tell me who they are? Do you feel good about this Reds team? And when I asked that question, what I got back was the Reds play a lot of bad teams in the second half. Well, that doesn't answer my question. Because just because you play bad teams doesn't mean you're a good team. Now, good teams do beat the bad teams. And the Reds have been able to not just beat the Pirates, but dismantle the Pirates. It's been like watching an actual MLB team take on a minor league team. It's been that bad. But I had never heard anybody say, oh, this team's offense, and by the way, I do think they have a really good offense, but I do think those offensive numbers are inflated by the fact that they do beat up on a lot of bad teams. The NL Central is garbage right now. The Brewers are the best team in that division, and I don't even think that they are that strong. I think that they're okay. They're very average. This Brewers team 3 years ago finishes 3rd in the division. This Brewers team 5 years ago finishes 4th in the division. Like, this isn't a super strong Brewers team. In fact, this Brewers team is worse than they were 2 years ago, but they're winning a lot of games because the Cardinals are below average. The Cubs have hit the reset button. The Pirates are trying to convince people that they're a Major League Baseball team, but it's like a bunch of minor leaguers dressing up for Halloween for 162 games this year. It's an embarrassingly bad division. And the Reds are an average team in a bad division. I'm not convinced that this team is that good. I believe that this team has benefited from beating up on a lot of bad teams. And then when they play good teams, and the Braves are not a great team, they've been, impacted by injuries, but that's an organization that I thought came out really, really good on the other side of the trade deadline. So kudos to them, by the way. But the Braves are embarrassing the Reds. And it's not just a Braves thing. The Reds Cleveland's not a good team at all. And Cleveland made them look bad. Like, this is why I get tired of when I ask Reds fans, what do you think about the team? And you say, well, I think that their schedule's easy in the back half. Oh, not that you feel good about them collectively as a unit offensively, not that you feel good about the improved bullpen that they got at the trade deadline, not about the starting pitching, none of that. It's just this. Okay. That's when I knew we were in trouble. When the Reds fans, including the advanced analytical nerds, like Red Leg Nation, try to spit out all this stuff on Twitter. They preach the importance of numbers, but yet they totally lose concepts of what results mean. The results could be a loss, but as long as David Bell managed by the book, then they're happy. It's the weirdest thing. Like, they would be horrible managers and horrible bosses, by the way. If in real world America, if they owned a business, as long as the employees did exactly what they said, regardless of the outcome of the business, they'd be happy. That's a horrible way to look at life. But anyways, I feel bad for them. I really do. Are they smarter than me? Probably. They know how to punch numbers in a calculator better than I do. More power to them. But the bottom line is that the Cincinnati Reds have a problem with David Bell. David Bell, I got to give him enough kudos to say, hey, you know what? You've done a fantastic job getting the team to this point. They've nailed it. They've done a great job getting to this point. David Bell is responsible for getting him to this point, but he's also going to be responsible for why they are not left standing. They will be very similar to me and you and everyone listening. We're all going to have a lot in common. We're all going to be home watching the playoffs. Me and the Reds don't have a lot in common right now. They're pro baseball players. I'm a radio boob in Dayton, Ohio that nobody listens to. Okay? A lot of differences. But we will become more. Me and Joey Votto will have a lot in common come October, because we will all be at home watching the playoffs. That's the reality of it. David Bell, I hear all the David Bell apologists out there. Man, look what he's done. Look what he's done. All he has done is he has made enough tweaks to be able to get him to this point, but now he is not going to do enough tweaks to be able to get him to the finish line. And at the end of the day, it's not about what you did in an individual month or collective months. It's about what you did this season. David Bell is a 500 manager. This is a 500 ball club. They will finish roughly around 500. They will not make the wild card. They will not win this division. And then you're still going to have people saying, I thought David Bell did pretty swell this year. Give me a break. Give me a break. I don't think he's done a horrible job, but I also don't think he's done a great job. He's done an okay job. He's done a good job getting him to this point. He got him here, but he's the reason that they are here, and he will be the reason why they don't finish the race. Bottom line. And here's why. I talked about this yesterday. The fact that the three new arms that they got at the deadline, when they went out and got Givens from the Rockies, okay, and when they went out and got Luis Sessa and Justin Wilson from the Yankees, the fact that the combination, that the trio of Amir Garrett, Hembree, Brock, and Amir Garrett have had more innings pitched, have had more than double-digit walks than those three combined. They have given up more than double-digit runs combined than the other three. How, if you are David Bell, how do you go get all of those arms at the deadline and then use them sparingly? And then you continue to overuse the bad pieces from the bullpen that put you in position to need to get those other three guys at the deadline. Like, we shouldn't be seeing Hembree as much as we do. We shouldn't be seeing Brock as much as we do. We shouldn't be seeing Amir Garrett as much as we do. We should be seeing way more of Givens. My goodness, Givens has been lights out. He has been fantastic. He doesn't give up hits. He doesn't give up runs. He doesn't walk batters. But if he wants to see the field in David Bell's world, he probably should. Givens' problem is that he doesn't give up hits. I think that if Givens wanted to play more, he should walk more batters and give up more hits and give up more runs. Because apparently striking out batters, not walking batters, getting batters out, apparently That's where David Bell draws the line. We will not have that here in Cincinnati. We pride ourselves on having an embarrassingly bad bullpen, and Givens, you are doing everything in your power to make us look good, and we just can't have that. What is going on? It is absolutely embarrassing, and I get so tired of David Bell doing this whole, we got to manage for the future. We got to save arms. We got to manage innings. We got to make sure that we are ready to go for October. Well, if you are not looking to win now, there is no October. When we talk about load management, the NBA does load management better than anybody. And by the way, I hate the concept of load management. Load management is this lazy excuse of, I want to work as little as possible now so that I can give it my all come playoff time, which in theory makes sense. You know, in the NBA, you have your premier athletes. You don't want to get them injured. You want them out on the field. Or on the floor, I'm sorry. You want your star baseball players out on the field. The NBA, they rest players because they need them healthy come playoff time. But you know what the NBA does? The NBA, those teams keep winning. Like Kawhi Leonard. I can't stand Kawhi Leonard. I can't stand his approach to the game. I think it's lazy. I think it's an insult to the game, the history of the game. I think that when your theory is I want to practice and play as little as possible in the regular season so that I can go and scoop up all the glory come playoff time. I think that makes you the most selfish individual, one of the most selfish individuals in the history of the game. You're like that person in the group project that doesn't contribute at all to the group project the whole semester, but you're right there to collect the A come finals time. That's who Kawhi Leonard is. That's who half the stars in the NBA are. But at the end of the day, you know why Kawhi Leonard can rest as much as he does? You know why LeBron, after he went out in March, was able to take months off? You know why he was able to do that? You know why all these stars are able to miss so much time? It's because their teams keep winning. Them resting doesn't cost them come playoff time. Now, they do in their head think that by me resting, it'll keep me healthy come playoff time. But then sometimes they get injured in the playoffs, and it's like, okay, you rested all that time for what? No reason, right? But in theory, and the science and data shows, really, how's Kawhi Leonard doing? They rested all regular season. He was out come playoff time. But it is easier to accept players resting and accepting the load management of players because it at least leads to them being available come playoff time. They're at least in the playoffs. Imagine if the Clippers said, we're going to rest Kawhi Leonard, lose all our games in the regular season, but we need him for the playoffs. Oh, crap, we didn't win enough games to get to the playoffs. Well, I guess he's healthy. That's what David Bell and the Reds do. That's what baseball does as a whole. Oh, we can't overuse Givens. We can't use him on back-to-back nights. We can't let him go back-to-back innings. Why? He struck out the side multiple times already since coming to Cincinnati. He's been here for 2.5 weeks. And you've used Amir Garrett more. Amir Garrett and Hembry and Brock and all of these bullpen guys that have been with the Reds since the beginning of the season, they are a part of the worst bullpen in baseball, and yet you keep using them more than the guys that you went out to get to help plug the holes on this team. Why did you go get Wilson? Why did you go get Sessa? Why did you go get Givens if you're going to keep giving innings to these other guys that put you in position to have to go get them to begin with? It doesn't make any sense. Load management makes absolute zero sense if you are saving guys for the games that matter, but you're not good enough to win the games now to get to the games that matter. You want to know? It's October now. The Reds are in the playoffs right now. This is a playoff game tonight. You are playing for the playoffs. You are playing to get to the play. You are playing to survive in advance. And by David Bell continuing to go to Hembry and continuing to go to Brock and continuing to go to Doolittle, who does very little, I just don't understand why you manage so much for October and August, but you don't win. You don't manage to win in August. It doesn't make any sense to me. Baseball will continue to be a sport that I fall out of love with if it continues down this path. And I know you advanced analytical nerds out there are like, good, more power to you. See ya. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's totally fine. I'm not arrogant enough to think that the sport won't survive because I turned the TV off, but there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot more people out there like me who don't care about the advanced analytical approach, who care more about the old school. There does come a point where your gut has to lead you somewhere. There comes a point where you have to use your experience in the game. And using the employee manual to manage a baseball game is the dumbest, laziest way to do any job out there, especially one like baseball. You know, my job, I have a manual that just has some basic rules that the company wants us to follow, but there's not all right, when the Reds do this, you talk about this. When the Bengals do this, you talk about. Can you imagine if there was a manual telling me how to do this? Now, some of you are probably saying, actually, if there is one, I would love to get one to you. But you see my point. This job is about personality. It's about a flow of the show. It's about trusting the talent to take the show where it needs to go to be successful. Now, I feel like I've done that, okay? I don't care if that sounds arrogant or cocky of me, but if I was David Bell, I would just read box scores the whole time. I would be like John Sadak, where I just read bullet point after bullet point after bullet point. Oh, his launch angle is the third highest in Major League Baseball. And Eugenio Suarez, who's 0 for his last 56, I have a good feeling about it. Stop trying to put whipped cream on turds. And why the hell is Mike Moustakas not playing more? Maybe he's in the lineup tonight. I haven't even checked. I'm frustrated. The Reds have me frustrated. They have me frustrated because I bought in, and every time I buy in and I try to prop them up and I try to sell them to you, that's the one thing. The reason I don't do the overselling bull crap is because then you guys can't believe me. I'm not genuine. It's not, that's not good. When they're good, they're good, I tell you. When they're bad, I tell you. And right now they're playing bad, and right now I'm not confident that they're going to get to the playoffs. 8 games back in the NL Central. They're 4.5 games back in the wild card. The Padres are rolling, Dodgers rolling, Giants rolling, and the Reds, they're sliding, and not in a good way. It's the Justin Kinner Show presented by Orion Sports Medicine. Reds fans, I do want to hear from you. 518-1410. Are you buying in anymore? Have you given up? And I need you. You got to understand something here. I'm being real here. I'm not stirring the pot. I saw someone say, here's Kinner stirring the pot with the Reds. No, my job is to actually build up the Reds to make you excited to tune in and listen. So I'm actually doing a disservice to my station by telling you that I have no faith in this team making the playoffs. My bosses hate when I do this. They tell me all the time, Kinner, I know that the Reds sometimes are bad, but you got to do a better job of at least pretending to. No. Why would I do that? That's a disservice to our listeners. Why would I tell you? I mean, that's the thing. That's like telling you, hey, I know that our food is crappy, but it's really good. Come try. No. Then when you get there and the food is bad, then you say, man, that Kinner guy, he said this food was good. It's horrible. I'm never going to listen to him and his recommendations again. I'm being honest with you. The way David Bell manages this team, it's been good enough to get him to this point, but it's also bad enough to keep him out of the playoffs. I want the playoffs on 1410 ESPN Radio. I want to listen to Reds baseball in the playoffs. But as long as David Bell keeps doing what he's doing, why did they even make trades at the deadline for him to continue to use the bad guys more than the good guys? 518-1410. The calls are flooding in. It's a great sight to see. I'm going to step away for a few moments, and we'll take your calls on the other side before we hand it off to Tommy Thrawn, the Cowboy. You're listening to the Justin Kinner Show, presented by Orion Sports Medicine.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be partly cloudy, hot and humid, a high near 95. Tonight will be mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a low around 75. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy, also with a chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 86. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Greatness. It's not born of coincidence. It's not a product of luck. It's forged through dedication, drills, and the acquisition of new skills. Wanting won't get you there, but sweat equity just might.
Timothy's Bar and Grill on Brown Street wants to wish the Dayton Flyers Red Scare the best of luck in their journey through the basketball tournament. Wear red, be loud, go Flyers!
Grammy award-winning folk band Old Crow Medicine Show and guitar-picking prodigy Molly Tuttle together live. 2 nights, Friday, August 13th at PNC Pavilion and Saturday, August 14th at Rose Music Center at the Heights. Caroline, you do just fine. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Old Crow Medicine Show and Molly Tuttle live in Ohio this August.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, here to tell you about my friends at Cordell Transportation. They're now hiring Class A CDL drivers and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, a $5,000 sign-on bonus, home daily, dedicated lanes, and no-touch freight. Brand new equipment as well, medical, dental, vision, and company-paid life insurance. Call Cody right now. Apply online at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Your child's teeth and gums need the right nutrition and care to grow strong and stay healthy. A back-to-school dental appointment can diagnose any potential problems and improve your child's oral health. Ohio Dental Association member dentists are located throughout the state, are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and obtain superior ongoing education and training. Ask if your dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit associationsadvanceohio.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
For the ones standing guard. For the eagle-eyed. For the knights in shining armor. And for all those who support them. We are Grainger, your experienced safety partner, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, committed to helping keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com/safety, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Save today on your next project with 11% off everything now at Menards. Save on Chamberlain garage door openers. Smart garage door openers feature built-in Wi-Fi that allow you to open and close your garage door from anywhere. Get 11% off all Chamberlain garage door openers. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through August 14th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
The Meyer Distribution Center in Tip City is hiring for warehouse positions in all units, which include flexible schedules, best-in-class benefits, enhanced starting wages, and $1,500 sign-on bonus. Apply online at jobs.meyer.com. Keyword search distribution, location Tip City, or call 937-669-9109, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., Monday through Friday. Walk-in interviews are also available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call 937-669-9109. Meyer is an equal opportunity employer.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash. Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2021 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
Nobody protects you from mayhem in Ohio like Allstate. I'm a speed bump. Did you hear what I said? I'm a speed bump. And if you have cut-rate car insurance, the cost to reattach your muffler could really be a bump in the road. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's Wendy's BOGO $1. Get a Dave single plus another favorite for just $1 more. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Valid per item of equal or lesser value. Restrictions apply.
I was actually really hoping, I was hoping that David Bell would say, I would love to play Moustakas today, but I'd rather play a position player that hits like a pitcher. And I was really hoping that was going to be the case, and I'm really glad that David Bell and I are on the same page because he has Eugenio Suarez in the lineup tonight, so there's that. Jonathan India will lead things off and bat first. Jesse Winker will bat second. Jonathan India at second base batting first. In left field batting second is Jesse Winker. Batting third and at shortstop is Kyle Farmer. At first base, the power hitter. How about this? Joey Votto batting fourth to lead the Reds in the cleanup spot. Tyler Stevenson behind the plate tonight will bat fifth. He's catching. In right field, batting sixth is going to be Aristides Aquino. The third baseman who hits like a pitcher, Eugenio Suarez. In center field will be Tyler Naquin and the pitcher, Vladimir Gutierrez. So that is your lineup here tonight. One more time. India, Winker, Farmer, 1, 2, and 3 hitters. 4, 5, and 6 belong to Stevenson. Votto, Stevenson, and Aquino. And 7, 8, and 9 hitters. I butchered all of that, by the way. Eugenio Suarez, Tyler Naquin, and Vladimir Gutierrez. So there you go. I'd rather have Gutierrez hit in the 7th spot versus Eugenio Suarez, to be quite honest with you. So here's the deal. We had some callers on hold. I appreciate you guys being patient. We're just out of time. We got to send it to Reds baseball. I really hope I'm wrong about the Reds. I am wrong a lot. I am wrong all the time. I'm just hoping I'm really, really, really wrong this time. I'm hoping that the Reds get a win tonight. I just have a feeling the Reds are done. I don't know what else to say. 5:10 the first pitch. Reds baseball coming up next right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. We are Dayton's home of the Reds, and I hope we stay that way, but not with my attitude, I'm sure, right? Don't go anywhere. Reds baseball next.